Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And today we have the end of season tier list. I did one last season at the end of the season, so we can just see where everyone was. And I don't think things are going to change too much for next season, considering we have the same runes. Nothing's really changed with the gear. We've got no new sort of no new, like we had epic schematic changes before that I thought might make a bit of a difference. But nonetheless, we're going to do a little weapons tier list and see who was on top, who was mid-range, and who fell off for the season. Being that we've obviously had this season with different runes to the YOLO Cav season, whatever that one was called, into Sanduku, and then now we're going into Knightfall. So, but let's have a nice little tier list, and let's have a look. So, we are going to start off with the chain dart. That's where we're starting. Or should we start from the other end this time? Let's start from the other end. Let's do it slightly differently. Okay, starting with the maul. Now, this I was thinking I'm going to put down up here. Of course, it's maul. It's going S tier. There's no argument with that. That is number one, best weapon. Spin, freedom spin. Yeah. I don't find it as much of a problem when I get to sort of the last few weeks of the season, but I find it, the start of seasons I find it pretty annoying. So I'm going to say, even as going into Nightfall, Maul will still be number one. We got the same runes. Maul will be number one in S tier. Moving on, Spear. Spear recovered at all? I saw a few Spear players, but yeah, I mean, next season they get a 10% damage buff on a horse, so I don't know. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. But yeah, no, it still needs to be fixed. It's just there's too much animation locks. They don't have enough to put people on the floor apart from leaping off the mount. Personally, Spear, I'd like a whole rework. Leave all the stuff on the horse. What they do on the horse, great. But in terms of fighting on the ground, the kick, I like the kick. I don't know why they ever got rid of the get off of the ground with the kick. Like it had a sort of get you out of concussion or whatever it was. But I'd keep that, but there's a lot of other moves that just need to be changed. Less animation locks, add something to knock them down. But unfortunately for Spear, we're going to put that in C. It's going in C. Still playable. Like, all these classes are playable, but yeah, you're not going to do as great as if you were playing Maul that can pick up 100 kills on its own. Longsword is going S tier for me. Longsword is, in my mind, I know this is a bit of a spoiler, but it's just become a short sword plus healing plus better, basically it does everything short sword does these days and better. So I don't know if you guys would agree with me on that, but I don't see the benefit of going short sword now over longsword. Longsword's tanky, it's got the buffs for its teams, it's got heals for the teams, it does pretty much the same damage. You got the shield charge, you can attack while with your shield up. It's it's S tier. In my mind, it's S tier. And again, guys, this is all my opinion. This is not, you might have a differing opinion. So just keep that in mind when you watch this video. Moving on, Poleaxe. Yeah, Poleaxe is going S tier as well. It's been a very heavy meta season. A very heavy meta. And these three up here, the absolute dominators. Really, really nice. If you're new to playing the game, heavy armor seems to be the way to go at the moment. Until something's fixed with light armor, the disparity between reforged light armor and reforged heavy armor is the difference between like 17,000 health. And having 400 armor to having 1,000 armor and that extra health. It's quite a lot. So, yep, those three are up there. We got Poleaxe there. Poleaxe is just obviously it's decent all round. You're basically knocking everyone down all the time, especially with the epic. I saw a poleaxe with the epic schematic set on and doing Lockerbie strikes, I think it is, with the CC immune. Really nice. Really nice. Nadachi, I feel, starts the season here and then ends the season here. I feel like it sort of goes down a bit, but that's only because the units become more tanky, and then I don't think it's been bad, but I don't think it's been. I think there's been so many Imperial spears that I feel like it may have struggled slightly in that regard. But then if they take Imperial spears themselves, just to complete Live Lord with them. But I'm going to have to put it in B for me at this point in time. I think it can be an A. I think it's a high B. I think it can be an A, but for now, I think we're going to shove it in B. Yeah, I think we're going to shove it in B. In fact, I've just thought about this. I'm going to remove the spear down to D. Going to move it down to D. Yes. Sorry. Little. Was just thinking about the Nadachi and then thinking about the spear. Yeah, I'm going to put the spear in D. Only not because of the damage, just because I think it just needs more. It needs more. It's basically just the bad version of Pike. Now we're moving on to Shortbow. Shortbow is going to go in C. Don't get me wrong, it can kill heroes okay, but overall, it's basically you have to do damage to anyone, you have to basically be in melee anyway, and taking that in regards, why wouldn't you be a chain dart or a dual blades? Because you don't bring any more to the table. The only thing you bring to the table is killing artillery at the start of the games, just being out like pinging it off the walls. So yeah, it's gonna have to go in C for me. It's I played it at the start of the season and I had a lot of fun with it, and it is a lot of fun, and you can get some hero kills and it's good. But until they remove the POV, the point of view, like where the camera is, and allow you to zoom out more, I think that would give it a lot more spatial awareness. That would be nice. But also, apart from a bit of hero killing that the other two guys do equally as well or better, I just don't see that much value in it at this current point in time. Also, the runes are just like they put a nerf rune in that's again for Knightfall. That it actually lowers your damage. Like it's being calculated as a nerf, as a rune. So that makes no sense at all. So it's gonna have to go in C. Obviously, all of these are playable. Musket is going in A. Musket seems to have been really good, obviously really good at the start of the season, and then I thought they would drop off more this season, like coming into doing like into the tier 4s and tier 5s. But actually, whenever I've come up against a Musket, granted, when you see someone as a Musket, normally that's because they're quite a good player, and yeah, they can stomp. If you come across a good Musket player, you won't survive that long, and then your unit will be completely disrupted. So Musket's been good. Musket has been good this season. Moving on, dual blades. I want to go either a B or an A. The runes this season are shocking. I'm going to go B actually for dual blades. I play dual blades now, so I gave up on shortbow. Went back to my original dual blades. And it is good. Like, it's dual blades. It's always going to have something. But yeah, it's the runes are pretty awful this season. And there's spoiler alert. There's just a better version of you that was kind of like, if you looked throughout the season, the chain darts. Loads of dual blades that I saw were dual blades in the past have now converted to chain dart just because it's basically doing everything dual blades doing, but better. Dual blades has come up slightly at the end of the season for the last 2 weeks. I've seen a lot more of them, so that's interesting. But nonetheless, if we're going throughout the season, there hasn't been many of them. It's been a rough ride. it has been a rough ride with the amount of shields about. Yes, we got a shuriken throw that can help with the shields, but I felt like we're missing something this season. I went for Skylark, and that sort of boosted me up back onto DB. I liked Skylark a lot because you can ignore shields. But nonetheless, But I'm going to put it in a B. It could be an A if we're looking at the end of the season, but it's going to go in B for me. It's going to go in B. Longbow is going into D. Longbow or bow, whatever you want to call it. That's going in D. So previously, seasons before Sanduku, bow was doing incredibly well. I don't know what's happened to bow that has made it fall off so badly, but there in that season before, when I was doing my last tier list, bows were for me as a light arm anyway, they were such a problem. I was getting killed by them all the time. They're doing a 17,000 lightning bolt and stuff like that. And now it hasn't seemed to keep that. So you really don't see that many of them. And yeah, it's a shame. I would say it's a shame, but as a light armor, that I'm basically their number one target. So it's been quite nice not to have to watch out for Hawkeye on top of a tower. But yeah, I'm going to put them in D because they really haven't brought anything to the table this season. You might disagree with me on this one, but this is my tier list. So, moving on swiftly onto Pike. Pike, I'm going to put in A tier. I normally put Pike in a weird place purely because okay Pike, there's a big difference between a really good Pike and a good Pike. A really good Pike is S tier, can't be killed. Like, they're incredible. Someone that is really good at Pike, that mains Pike and plays it all the time, they can't be killed. They know how to animation cancel properly. They know exactly what ability's going off at what time. It's actually incredible to watch. It's really cool. But if it's just a good Pike, it's going in A tier. And I think a lot of you will agree with me. There is a big disparity between. It's probably one of the highest skilled cap classes or weapons out there. So, yeah, you'll probably agree with me on this. You see someone that's just good at Pike, they're killable. See someone that's amazing at Pike, yeah, you're going to struggle. So that is going in A tier. Pike in A tier. And then we're moving on to Glaive. Now, Glaive, I was harsh on last time, but I have seen a lot more Glaives, and they've been a lot better. So I'm going to put Glaive this time in A tier, just with the buffs. I hear they've got they've had good runes this season. That means they're gonna have good runes next season. And yeah, I feel like they've kind of come back slightly. They've embraced the heavy armor. They're no longer doing the medium armor Glaive, and it seems to actually be doing great for them. I see Gabba going around getting a lot of kills. Granted, Gabba's a really good player. I see Coffee does pretty well with Glaive all the time. I see a few hundred kills there. So yeah, I wish I was good at Glaive. I wish I knew how to play it, because it's one of those ones that you look at and you're like, damn, that's cool. But I'm just terrible at it. So I'll leave it to Coffee and Gabba to do that. But yeah, so it's going to go in A. That's a lot better than it was before. In fact, I'm going to do this like that. And I'm going to do that. Just to put these in their numerical order. Do that. No, actually, I think the both was. There we go. So yeah, the Glaive is going in A. Definitely, I think I got it wrong last time where the Glaive would go, but then obviously they had better runes coming in. So yeah, this is where we're putting them, A tier. I think they've got a good place now. On to Short Sword. Short Sword, we are going to put in B. I'm going to put Short Sword in B. I just don't see it much. And as I said earlier, Longsword seems to do everything that Short Sword did. I swear, Short Sword used to have a niche, like a good niche, and used to sit all the time. They used to hold points very well. But I've found, honestly, that some longswords have been more tanky than short swords. Like, they put their shield up, they chuck themselves a heal, they roll. They put their shield up, they chuck themselves a heal, and they roll. And they do that continuously. And they last twice as long as a longsword popping iron sides and just taking a few hits on the point. So, yeah, I just don't think longsword is got the same place as it used to have because, sorry, I don't think short sword has the same place as it used to have because longsword is now so strong. So, yeah, you might disagree with me on that one, but I just don't see them. I see a lot of long swords and just not that many short swords at the moment. And then moving on to our final weapon, the chain dart. Chain dart we're going to chuck in S tier. It has been very prevalent this season. Seen a lot of it. You know, chain themselves over to you and kill you in a few hits is kind of standard. And I think they were the one of the, especially when Maul was at its height, it was sort of the one class or one of those top classes that could actually deal with Mauls quite efficiently. That was sort of a bit of a savior, but again, like as a dual blade myself, I get locked down by a chain dart. They can kill me within a second, like instantly. It's just straight into they grab me, they use their slash, I get stunned, and then they do their little choke thing, and then they throw 2 times at me, and I'm dead. I can't do anything about it a lot of the time. So, yeah, we're going to put chain dart in S. Very, very good. So that is looking like our list. Let me know what you think. This is just my opinion again. This is my opinion. This isn't, isn't canon. This is just what I've felt this season as we've been going on. This is what I've been thinking. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed, guys. And if you like this sort of content, I'd really appreciate the sub. And thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.